you seen in Montana as the season progressed?
You know, I really didn't look at it as trying to evaluate their improvement, Ted. I've been watching all their games and trying to get some scheme ideas and formations and you know, coverage and that type of thing. So I haven't really looked at it in sequence as far as their improvement. I just see a good, solid team all year long. They've been very effective on both sides of the ball in every game. They've had some close, exciting games. And they've pulled out a lot of close ones. They've done an excellent job.
What do you think their biggest threat is?
I think their balance is very impressive. Jordy Johnson's a great quarterback. He runs the run game well, the play action game well. They can throw the ball down the field. They have a good underneath passing game. I think offensively it's their balance. You have to stop the run. You've got to be aware of Henderson and the other receivers, and you've got to know where Jordy is to try to keep him contained. So they really are diverse. I think that's their biggest strength.
A lot of similar personnel as you guys have faced the last few years, but a completely different offense. What's the difference between what they have in the last 3 years and what they have
It is absolutely totally different, and it goes back, I think, to the offense that Coach Delaney ran at Colorado State with such success with Sonny Lubeck and those guys, and it's kind of a throwback, but it's very effective. I mean, they get 2 tight ends or 1 at least, and fullback, and quarterbacks under center, kind of old school football, and it works. And they've got the line to match this up. It's a perfect fit for their personnel, I think. And you know, the big question going in was, you know, Jordy was he was an outstanding spread offense, zone read quarterback. You know, could he make the transition? And I think the success they've had this season has shown that he definitely has, and has adapted well, and it's actually a great fit for him too.
Making the offense one-dimensional, I mean, obviously that's a key every week, but do you think it's even more since this is such an offense that's predicated off play action?
I don't know if it's ever more culture, really. I mean, we always talk about stopping the run. It's always critical to stop the run. Everybody that you play, you know, I know Montana will continue to run football, and they're committed to it. We try to be, and a lot of good teams try to be, and so we just have to make sure we sustain it throughout the course of the game.
How do you think your guys' offense matches up with their defense? Obviously, they're very good on the front seven.
They're really good in the front seven. I think our offensive line is bigger and stronger than we were a year ago. We had great battlers a year ago, guys that really were tenacious and tough. But this year, physically, I think we've made some strides in our front group. So hopefully we'll stack up a little bit better. They're very tough in the front seven.
The red zone matchup, can you talk about their offense in that play action versus your defense? Now, Kane said there's some younger guys who are trying to get some experience in there. Can you talk about that matchup a little bit?
Yeah, you know, a year ago, we had a lot of seniors, a lot of veterans who had seen it all and done it all, and they made big plays down in the red zone for us. But I think we're making progress. Our guys have seen a lot of different situations now. We've made some good 4th down and 3rd down stops. Haven't always concluded the drive with the stop that we wanted, but we're making real plays. And I see these guys growing up right before my eyes. Hopefully this will be the culmination of a season of training, and they'll get some jobs and the job done and the chances they have this time.
Does their proficiency with the play action, does that make it tougher to guard against a team like that in the play act or in the red zone where there's so many
every
options?
team has their threats in the red zone. I think the play action's a really good tactic in the red zone. You know, the bootlegs and so forth, because you have to stop the run and you have to get people down there and make plays. And if we ignore the run, they'll score on that. But we've got to contain Johnson, and he's very adept at getting away from pressure. You know, making creative plays. The first touchdown against Weber State on 4th down this past week was just magnificent. It was covered. They did a great job defending it, but when the play was over, Montana had a touchdown. You know, he found the back at the end of the play. So he does some things that are unscripted that are very tough.
You guys have played a tremendous tempo on offense at times, but at other times we've not seen that same tempo. Why has that been? Why have you not been able to go?
You know, I've gotten that question a lot here this week, and the bottom line is that you have to have successful plays to run an up-tempo offense. You know, otherwise you're really quick getting back to the sideline or getting into punting. You know, so we just have to click. You know, it also helps to run an up-tempo offense if you can get one jump starter type play, where you get a chunk yardage play and then you can kind of get rolling. But we just have to execute better and make sure that we are successful with our throws and catches. You know, getting some runs that get you know, positive yardage, 4 or 5 yards. Then I think we can up the tempo.
Coach, what does this rivalry mean to you?
You know, I get that question every year, and it's you know, it's the same answer all the time, Jeff. I mean, this is one of the great rivalries of all time, and it's I've become, you know, well aware of that in the 7 years I've been here. The biggest thing that I understand about it now that I probably didn't know when I first got here is that it's not just this week, it's all year long. Other rivalries, I think, are the big hype for the week of the game, and then, you know, it maybe recedes a little bit during the year. This one never recedes, it's all year long.
How important, how awesome would it be to get a win here at home? The home team hasn't won this series since 2008. How nice would it be to get a win here at Bobcats?
Every win of any kind against any team at any location is a big win and awesome, and every other positive thing. And you know, this would be huge. Obviously, I just talked about how this is a rivalry that lasts for years, so to have that bragging rights for a year would be tremendous. I would like to get a win for our seniors, though, more than anything else. To win at home in this game because it's a rivalry and because of all they've given to our program and invested in the program, I think it would be really special.
Both teams have such a good home field advantage. Can you find a way to explain the strange dynamic that home team hasn't won in the last 3 years?
That's 4, I think.
Is it 4?
Yeah,
4
4
years?
years in a row. That is a good question. I don't know exactly. You know, maybe. You know, I think there's something really special about silencing a big crowd. That's sometimes that's more motivating than anything else you do in athletics. We've both been able to do that in the last 4 years on the other turf. So I think it's important. I told our fans at quarterback club this week that it's really important for the fans not to ever get quiet. You know, no matter what happens, good or bad. You know, let's roll the whole game and keep the home field advantage going. Even there's going to be times when Grizz make a good play, and we got to rally from that and get right back and going again as a crowd. So maybe it's the crowd's fault.
do you think it has anything to do with that both teams are so used to playing in front of large crowds that they're not intimidated or affected by it when they go?
I doubt it. I mean, I think there's a lot of circumstances that have gone into each of these games. If you look at them, which team's on a roll, who makes the plays. You know, there's always 1 or 2 key plays that could probably happen on either field. It just happened on that field that day, and you know, that's what usually decides the games.
You mentioned the seniors and how big it would be to win. How much will you lean on the 3 captains who are all Montana guys for leadership, and what have they meant to this program?
Absolutely. I mean, those guys desperately want to win this game. I know University of Montana has their seniors who are Montana guys who also want to win it. That's what makes this game so terrific. But I know Brad and Tanner and Cody will play like crazy in this game, and obviously we're going to give those offensive guys the ball, and we're going to give Brad every opportunity to make great plays, and I think they'll play outstanding games. And I would love to see that game work out right for those guys.
Can you talk a little bit about Cody's health, Sean's health going into this week?
Cody's better than he was a week ago, so that's good. He came out of the game better than he came out of the Eastern Washington game.
Was that a knee?
He's got a knee, and we're encouraged about that. Sean's got a hip thing going on, and he's going to play. It's just we'll have to be careful this week.
The health of the secondary versus their receivers, they go deep a lot. Is there any concern with that deep?
Well, there's always a concern with Henderson back there. He's an outstanding player. He's got great speed, and he's made big plays against everybody all year long. So, you know, we're concerned about that. Sean Gores is healthy and will be back in the lineup, so that's good. And then it's just our lineup we've played with all year. That's who we have, and I think they're pretty good. I think he's really good. It'll be a great matchup.
How do you think you guys' defensive line matches up with that big offensive front of theirs?
I'm impressed with their offensive line. I think it'll be a challenge for us, but our guys are stronger and you know, physically better than we were a year ago. Those same guys were a year ago, so I think we've grown up in that area, and hopefully our quickness and our being fundamentally sound, being in the right gaps will help us get a stalemate there and manage the game.
You touched on it a little bit. Can there be too much pressure to this game, you know, with it being the rivalry and with it being the playoffs are right around the corner and the fates?
We try to have fun with it. We try to embrace it. You know, we're not going to walk around, you know, just total silence all week thinking about this game. You know, we're gonna have fun. We're gonna practice fast and be exuberant and you know, be excited about it and try to play and channel the nerves and the adrenaline in the proper way. You know, to play a game with great enthusiasm and great energy. That's what we're going to try to do.
That being said, what's the psyche of the team? Obviously, circumstances have changed during the past 3 weeks. So
I think the team's fine. I mean, this is a great game to have at this point in time. I'd be a lot more worried about anybody else, and you know, in terms of the psyche of the team. Now, excited about playing a team that's as good as Montana is. They're really good. They've got a great season. But the fact that it is Cat Grizz is going to motivate our guys to have a great week of practice and a great effort on Saturday. So it's probably fun. I mean, this is the game that everybody's going to be up for. It doesn't matter what the records are or what just happened. You know, both teams will be sky high and ready to go.
Coach Boone, someone, Jason Walker, the PA announcer, gives you the first down Bobcats. Is that something you guys notice? I mean, do you like hearing that first down Bobcats?
You know, to be perfectly honest with you, I don't pay much attention to the music or the, don't tell Jason this, but I do know the environment is loud and exciting, but if we got a first down, I'm probably thinking about the next call. So I know he's done a great job, though. He's been a great popular voice of the Bobcats, and we're going to miss him.
We hope that Montana doesn't eat at medals on the way over. I know
Man, that's been the jinx or
The good luck
the
charm.
good luck charm. Yeah, to eat there, the winning team 4 years in a row. I was gonna take the team over there, but we can't miss practice or miss class for a practice opportunity. So I didn't know what to do. I may call Metals though and see if they could ship out the lunch, deliver it to our place on Friday.
I thought you reserved